Hello and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Tuesday, the 19th of April 2022. Today's Guardian specifies medium level, but to be honest, based on past experience, that usually means an easy level game on a Tuesday. Monday, I classify as beginner, and Tuesday, easy level. Usually it's like that. Let's see if today's game is the same. What's going on in the world? Russia is continuing its wholly unjustified and vicious attacks uh, on the Ukrainian people. Um, and if you are not in that region of the world, thank your lucky stars. I'm so grateful not to have been born there or based there. Can you imagine the terrible hardships that people are facing, terror and well, death in many cases, of course. Um, Accident of birth, where you were born. There's this thing now. The UK has got another ridiculous scheme to send people off to Rwanda for immigration processing, asylum processing. I mean, it's so disgusting. Why do some people just forget that other people are human beings, and have all kinds of emotions, regular emotions, the same as they do, and just desperate to get to a safe haven, place of safety. And but it's a greed of people to keep what they have and never give it up. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I'm feeling well, must be feeling rather depressed on a Tuesday morning. Sounds like I am. I'm not really, but it's probably because I got jumped on by a cockroach in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. I felt something on my leg, and I woke up, and it was a cockroach. I don't have too many of them in the house. We do have them in Thailand. It's a bit of a rarity in my bedroom, I must admit. I get them from time to time, but it's a horrible thing as well. So I was awake all night, and it's probably put me in a bad mood. Never mind. Let's cheer up, because I am, in general, a pretty happy person. So shall we get on and play our game of Sudoku? Because that will take our mind away from more serious things and turn it towards frivolity. Right. So how do we play this game of Sudoku? Well, you can see there are rows across, some of which have numbers in and some of which have empty squares, and it's our job to fill in numbers 1 to 9 in each of these rows across. Now you'll see that the number never repeats because there are exactly 9 squares, so we put numbers 1 to 9. We don't have to include a 0 in each of the rows. We do exactly the same thing for each column, and again you can see, look, here we have 8, 4 and 3, so we're looking for all the other numbers from 1 to 9 for this column. And we also have these mini grids of 9 squares. Oh, look, we've got a nice little series here, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're looking for 1, 2, 7, 8, 9 in this particular box here, which I normally call blocks. Okay, right, so how do we go about solving this conundrum? Well, we do this kind of thing. We say that 7 cannot reappear in this row because it's already in this row, and number cannot repeat. We have a 7 in this row, which means it can't reappear here. So if we focus on this particular block that we know is lacking 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, right? Well, we can say that 7 can't appear in any of these 4 squares here, and these squares already have numbers in, so we can't squeeze another number in, can we? That would be cheating. And so we place our 7 there, and we know that's where it goes because the game only has one solution. Right, got it now? Okay, so now you know how to play Sudoku. Why have you never tried before today? That's unimportant because you are at least trying now. I have seen something. Should I tell you about that? No, let's tell you about something else instead, something slightly easier. We have 6 blocking across here, meaning 6 cannot appear in these 3 squares in this bottom row, and 6 blocking down here. So again, one empty white square. So we place our 6 there. By the way, if you can hear some kind of rattling in the background, so can I. I'm not sure what it is. There's some kind of maintenance going on. I don't really know, but I'm not sure if the microphone is picking that up or not. It's quite annoying, but hopefully you won't be able to hear it. Um, all right, let me show you this thing that I was going to show you anyway. It's a couple of steps. So, you know, sometimes when we're playing the game of Sudoku, we need to think a couple of steps ahead. Steps ahead. Steps. Is that a good jazz group from the 1980s or something? Right, we have one blocking across here, right? So we know this square can't be one, right? Because of this one here. That leaves only three squares left. So we know that one must appear in one of these three squares, right? Which one? Don't know, don't care for the moment, but it's in one of these because it can't go here, right? So now we know that it's in one of these three squares. It means it can't be in these two squares. Do you agree? Because if it appears here, it's going to block these two. If it appears here or here, it's still going to block these two squares. So we know neither of these can be one. We have a one blocking up here and we have a one blocking across here. And so now we only have a single square that we can place our one. Got it? So this is how we look ahead slightly to you know, how things will be. So we kind of think a couple of moves ahead, or one move at least ahead. When we look at this column down here, we see the missing numbers here are 4, 5, and 9. Now, actually, we can find the 4 immediately, but I want to do something else first. I see that when we have three numbers like this, and we have two of those numbers in the same row or column intersecting, so in this case, we're looking at the column, and here we have two numbers that intersect across the row. Well, we can automatically understand that if it's not 4 and it's not 9, then it's got to be 5 because that's the only number left, right? Because there were only three opportunities. So we know it's not 4, not 9. Right, now we can see clearly 4 can't appear here either because of this 4 or this 4. So we know that the 4 will go there, and then the 9 will finish that column off. Okay. Now we'll use that 9 that we just placed to block across here because that gives us just that one single square where we can place our 9 there now. That clanking sound, that drilling sound is very annoying, I must admit, when you're trying to concentrate on numbers. And for those of you new to the channel, I should quickly mention that I don't play these games ahead of time, so I have no idea what the actual solution of this game is. I do have to play it live and find the answer as you do if you haven't played it already, and the link is in the description for you to go and get this game and try it for yourself. Right. Okay. Excuse me. This row here is lacking a 9. So shall we look at any intersecting 9s? Hey, there's one up there. Sorry, you're never going to be a 9. There's one up here. Goodbye for your chances for ever becoming a 9. And there's one here. Haha, you wanted to be a 9? No way, buddy. So there's only one empty square now. So we know that the 9 must fit there. And when we use that 9 that we just filled in and say that it blocks all the way to the top there, and 9 across this row and 9 across this row, again, we are limited to just one square. We sometimes call these cells, C-E-L-L. Yeah, that's where it goes. Now, we are going to consider the 9 in this row here. Do you want to have a look? Go on then, hurry up. Do we have a 9? No, we don't, not yet. Now, there is a 9 in this block already, so it actually blocks both of these. Now, you could have looked at this 9 up here to say blocking here, but actually, when you have a 9 within this block, it blocks everything else within the same box here, right? So this 9 blocks both of those squares. 9 blocks down here, this 9 blocks down here. So in this row, the final cell at the end of the row will be a 9. It's very okay. Right. Let's do one of those thinking ahead type things again. Right. 3 blocks these 2 squares. So where will 3 appear in this block? Either here or here. Can we tell where? No, not yet. Don't know yet, but we know it's either here or here. So can it appear here? No. Or here? No. Blocks across this row here. And we have 3 blocking across this row here. And we have 3 blocking down here. So we know that 3 must appear there. Let's take that 3, say blocking up here, and a 3 blocking across. So we know that 3 fits there. I'll give you a chance. Do you want to look for 3 in this block here? Have a quick look. Got it? Okay, well done. So yes, we have a 3 blocking across this row here and a 3 blocking this column. So there's just that one square there where a 3 can go. How about in up here? Do you want to look for the 3 up here as well? Okay, you got it. We need just slightly more here. So we have 3 blocking across here, up here, and up here. So that's 3, the location for 3 in that block. Now there are we can't finish the 3s off because we know that 3 appears in these squares here like this, which forms a kind of perfect square. So or not a rectangle, I should say, actually, I suppose. But we can't solve them. If we had a 3 here, we would know that a 3 goes here. If we had a 3 here, we would know it goes here. But we don't know any of them. So we're looking for one of those 2 remaining 3s, and then we'll find the other one. Now, the key to this game is deciding where to look. So when you see this, that you know what these 3 missing numbers are because we already have 6 and there are only 9 within a block. So we can definitely define what these 3 numbers are. Can we place them? Probably not, because I would have done it already. So we don't know what exactly where they go, but there are only 3 numbers to fit into these 3 squares. When we've found that, then there will be only one other digit remaining. And so whatever is left in this row, oops, excuse me, right, will go into here. So the missing numbers here are 1, 2, 8. First of all, let's check to see if we can find them. No, we've got a 2 here, we've got an 8 here, the one we don't know about. So this is 1, 2, and 8, right? Then we got, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no 5 anywhere. All right, 6, 7, 8 is somewhere here, and 9. So we know this has to be a 5. I do wish they'd stop that building work or whatever it is. It's really annoying sound. It's a very non-musical sound. It's a kind of clanking noise. It's driving me nuts, rather. I should move to another room once I've finished this game. Right, so where do I look next? This is the battle in Sudoku always, is trying to decide where you should be looking next. Okay, so we often see things like this. This is rather good actually for a medium level puzzle. This is something you often see in the slightly harder games, but you see this pattern here. We have 1 blocking down this column, and we have 9 blocking down this column as well, right? 1 and 9 blocking down, 1 and 9 blocking down here. So these 2 squares cannot be 1 and 9, but that leaves only 2 other squares, right? So what do we know? Well, we know that 1 and 9 must be here like this. Okay, now that can be useful to us. We can't guarantee that it's going to be useful, but it often is. So if these two squares represent 1 and 9, we are able to work out what the other two are, because we know this is 1 or 9 only. So we got 1, 2, 3. We don't have a 4 yet. 5, 6. We don't have a 7 yet. 8 and 9. This is 1 and 9. So we know that 4 and 7 have to appear in these two squares, because these are exclusively 1 or 9, because 1 and 9 block down there. Got it? So now we know 4 and 7 is here. Well, look, we have an intersecting 4, so we know that can't be 4. So we can immediately place our 4 there and our 7 there. And that's how it becomes useful. Now in this row up here, this 7 blocks both of these squares here, and this 7 blocks this square. So we know that 7 has to be there. The 1 and 9 that we have here is quite difficult to use. It doesn't really give us much because we already have 9s here. We have a 1 here, so that means 1 is in one of these two squares, but it doesn't really help us much, but that's okay. It just allowed us to go up here and find numbers up here. So sometimes you find the number and it takes you in a different direction, or it makes you look somewhere else rather than where you were necessarily thinking in Sudoku as well. That's another nice part of the game, something nice that happens when you're playing. Now, okay, let's examine this row here. Now, I'm going to tell you that when we look through, we don't find a 1 in this row, do we? So you should be able to immediately find the 1. Right, because this one here blocks both of these squares. Or you could say this one blocks this square and this one blocks this square. Whichever way around. 1 has to be placed there, doesn't it? Now the missing numbers here, we always investigate the missing numbers like this. The missing numbers in this row are 6 and 8, but we still don't have any information that can tell us yet which is 6 and which is 8. So we just have to leave those for the moment. But that will tell us that there are 2 other squares that are not 6 or 8 which appear here. So we can work out the other squares, right? So then the missing numbers here have to be 2 or 4. Because we know that 6 and 8 are in these 2 squares here, right? Now we do have a 4 to say that can't be 4, so we know that our 4 will go there and our 2 will be placed there. Now we'll find a 2 down here. If you look quickly, okay, very quickly, 2 blocking down, 2 blocking across. So that's our 2, and now of course we can finish this row here. Either we can stretch the 2's across like this and find the missing number, or we could just look along this column and see which number we are lacking, and that was a 2. Now if you remember, we had 1, 2 and 8 that needed to go here, and now we have two digits. I can't speak clearly. Two digits that intersect with this row here. So neither of these squares can be 2, so we know that 2 must be here. And now at the 8 blocks down here, so this must be the 8 and this must be the 1. Do you see how we just, knock them out one by one, reducing the possibilities? Look for the 8 in this block here quickly. Got it? Okay, we have 8 blocking down here, 8 blocking across here, 8 blocking down there. So that's our 8. Now, if you remember, we had 1 or 9 in these squares. I said the 9 is not particularly useful. We've got 9s already. But if you think about the 1, that will turn out to be more useful. Let's highlight the 1. We know 1 is here. So that means the 1 blocks across here. And this one blocks down here now. So now we know that 1 is in that square. And then we can block 1 all the way up there, all the way up there, and say that that is our 1 there. And now we only have 1 number missing to complete this column, and if you count through, you'll find it's a 7. Okay, so 7 blocks across here and down here. This is our 7 now. Okay, the 3 stops this square from becoming a 3, but we don't have a 3 in this block yet, so that must be our 3. And to finish this block, a 5 will do it. And then we have one number missing across this row, and the missing number looks to be a 6. Then we have one number missing down here, and that's a 5. And now we have one number missing from this column, and the missing number there is a 7. If you think I'm finding these numbers fairly quickly, not particularly, it's just that after you have played this game for a couple of years, let's say, you kind of develop you can kind of just look at the numbers without needing to count through them and see which one is missing fairly quickly, very often, although I can't do it all the time. But when many of the numbers are there, it kind of usually gets a bit easier to see, especially within a block, less so within a row or a column. But within a block, it's generally fairly fast to see, I think. The patterns just kind of hit you. Now our 1 here, of course, blocks down here. So this is our 1, and this was our 9, if you remember from before. So 9 blocking up here, down here, and across there allows us to finish off the digit 9s now. They're all done. 1, 7, and 9 are complete. We're looking for the others. So where should we look? Does it matter much? What's going on in this block here? We've got 3 empty squares. We need a 3, so 3 blocks across here and 3 blocks up there, so we can place our 3 there. We still need a 6 and an 8. Well, we have a 6 blocking across here, so that's our 6, and then our 8 will fit there. Now, this stops this square from becoming an 8, so 8 goes there. And our last number here was a 6, I think. Okay. When I say I think, I mean I know. I'm not guessing, right? Please don't guess at the game of Sudoku. It's not a game of guessing. Missing number here is an 8. And then the 8's block up like so, giving us an 8 in that square. We are 1 empty square in the first column here. And the missing number is 5. Now we need one number either for this block or this row, whichever way you think about it. And the missing number is 2. We take that 2, block up here, 2 blocking across here, that's our 2. One number missing for this column. What is it? It's 6, I do believe. Okay, 6 blocks across here, so that is a 6. This is our 5 then, 5 blocking back this way. That's our 5. And to finish today's medium level game, according to The Guardian, 4 will do it. Okay, that's it then. Check out other games here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're a newcomer. And hope to see you around again. And I'll try not to moan too much about the situations in life and try to be more positive whenever possible. Bye-bye.